Hey, welcome back to Two Super Guys Trade Stocks. I'm Dylan,
And I'm Vinny.
and we have a little bit of a more interesting concept video today. So what we're trying to look at is if we were to pick a stock for a 3-year timeline, what we would want to go into for investment purposes. And we did not tell each other. I shouldn't say we didn't tell each other because we never tell each other anything. We always are completely blind to each other's stuff. That's fine.
Yeah.
Zero prep time, baby. So this is if you were to pick one stock for a 3-year timeline, knowing that prices are, in my opinion, a little bit inflated for my typical answers. For instance, we had done a video similar to this about 8 months ago, and my answer was Google because it was around 160, right? So I will not be choosing Google again. It's at like 235 or something. So if I'm going to hold this for 3 years, then I have to take into account the prices right now. Now, granted, let's say Google dipped back down to 160. I'm going to be buying a lot. So this is, a fluid situation.
Yeah.
Any guesses what mine is?
Uh, Alibaba stock.
No.
Oh, okay.
All right. Oxy.
Hmm.
So here's
Oh,
why. Oh, you're you're like, what is this thing?
I saw Berkshire Hathaway for a second there. I was like, eh?
Oh, yeah. No, it's so Oxy. Oxy's down to about $45. It's a high of 70. There's been an accumulation of Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway owning more and more Oxy. Now, call me crazy. I think Berkshire Hathaway may know slightly more than me, a little bit, not just a little bit. All right. So when they're sitting on a giant cash pile hoard, and they are not spending a lot of money, but continuously buying up Oxy here. You can see, they started in 2019, but in 2022, they added a bunch between 57 and 61. They added another almost 4 million shares at this price, another almost 5 million shares at this price, almost 9 million shares at an average price of 46. And, they just keep on buying more and more. They now own about 28 to 29% an average price of low 50s.
But
That's a lot.
you said they don't want to own the entire company, but man, that
True.
sure seems like they want to.
Yeah, they're not really stopping. So they also have, I don't think they're going to exercise it. They have an opportunity through one of the things to buy more shares at $59. Why would you do that right now?
Yeah.
Because it's at $45. But here's Berkshire Hathaway's biggest holdings here. Okay, so
Hmm.
Oxy down here, I can't do Bank of America for me personally to hold for a 3-year period. I do think it's attractive, but they have been routinely selling this every single report. So if they were really confident long term, they would not be selling it and adding Oxy or CVX.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no change to the last one, but they own about 26.92 according to this, with an average price of low 50s. Every source I looked at, it was between like $50 and $53. So around there is their
Okay.
average price. When you look at crude oil prices, we are towards the lower end of where we've been in about the last 5 years. Remember this nightmare?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it got
this is
negative almost at one point in time during the
yeah, this is
pandemic.
an insane, weird thing that happened. But we're trending downwards, so I don't think this is going to spike up end of the year. I actually think it's going to do the opposite. So you can't really value oil companies the way that you would value Nvidia or Google. It's a little bit odd because one, they're all subsidized differently. Crude oil price is pendant on multiple factories. Not factories, factors. You could have a new conflict like Russia Ukraine, which changes everything. It's not typical. All right. So when you look at where will oil demand be in the next couple years, there's two groups of people. Okay. There's the OPEC and the IEA. They disagree quite a bit on what's going to be happening with oil. Here's a cool quote. So this was from Reuters. The IEA underestimated demand more frequently at 56% of the time than OPEC at 50% of the time between 2008 and 2023. So they're both that's pretty close. They're both pretty accurate. OPEC was a little bit closer. Essentially, the IEA is predicting that we're going to have a giant surplus going through mid-2026, while OPEC plans to increase global oil supply to regain market share, though they still project a substantial oil supply deficit 2025 through 2026. So they are fairly opposite right now. I had looked at previous predictions, and they're a little bit, in my opinion, more opposite now than they have been in quite a long time.
Okay.
I just feel like probably Warren Buffett knows something we don't, because he's a semi-smart guy. So with the current prices, this is current. If NVIDIA dropped to 80, I'm changing my answer, right? But at current prices, I think Oxy would be my number one pick, all right, to hold
Okay.
for a long period of time. Now, an honorable mention, I had two that I was going back and forth between. So,
Yeah.
we just did a video on this yesterday. I have a, it's funny, I have a stock account for my kids where I'm not going to touch it, and I just buying stocks for the kids, and I'm buying like Oxy and AMD. Sorry, Oxy, Alibaba, AMD, and a couple other ones. So I'm routinely like adding to this every single week.
Yeah, man, it's a good way of thinking about it, man. That longer term horizon.
Yeah.
I have an entirely different take here. Okay.
All right.
Well,
Sweet.
Dylan just kind of posed to me, he's like, what stock would you buy basically for the next 3 years with like a high degree of confidence, right? And of course, like any good capitalist, I immediately cheated on that assignment. I was
That's fair.
looking through a stock screener. I was trying to find some undiscovered gems, but I was like, man, really? If I had to own one ticker for the next 3 years
You douche. You
with a
did
high degree of
QQQ.
confidence, I went a little bit past QQQ. That went up
Okay.
straight up Mag 7.
All right. You're so.
This is that Mag 7. Mags is the ticker symbol ETF. This is their current holdings. Like, I mean, come on. Yes, all these companies can be argued that overvalued. My portfolio has really evolved to the point where, like, what do I own? I own these companies just when I bought them at more attractive prices.
Yeah.
So why would it not make sense for me to continue buying it? Because winners
That's
keep
fair.
on winning, man.
It is true. The winners do keep on winning, especially in this stage of our economy. That is very, very accurate. It's not as fun, but it's very accurate.
Yeah, absolutely. This is like the Google, one of them. AI kind of survey here, if you will, or summary, talking about the Mags ETF and how you get the exposure to the 7 Mag stocks, but you are kind of over concentrating, and run that over concentration risk. Like, yeah, I understand, but the valuations are also high. Losing out on diversification. But we've talked about this in the past, comparing the return from this very concentrated portion of S&P 500 or triple Q compared to the market overall. Yes, I understand diversification is indeed your friend in theory, and the data behind that, but some people also will coin the term diversification. This is the summary there I wanted to get to real quickly, like to look at the outperformance here. Look at this number though.
Yeah,
SPY
it's gross.
has 178% over this like 9-year period here.
Yep.
Very solid return. 700%.
Yeah, and also it's even more different because the SPY is also being falsely inflated by those 7 stocks. So if you take out those 7 from the SPY, the increase is not even remotely close. It's huge because they're heavily weighted into the SPY and the Qs. So if you remove those, we had done a video on that a long time ago, but it's not good.
That's what you're looking at right here, right? Since
Crap! Oh, there we go.
58% return for the Mag 7 versus the 25% for the remaining 493 stocks in the index.
Yeah, there we go.
So, like,
that's funny.
Yeah, it really is, man. Like, as crazy as it may be, it makes sense to hold this for certain portfolios and certain kind of strategies, if you will. And this is just a demonstration here of it, even compared to the triple Q of the last few years. Obviously, they get a little bit more volatility, and when we had like the kind of downturn here with that tariff day, we saw them underperform significantly, but they've since recovered and are now exceeding even the triple Q, which is was 100 stocks, right? But like 50% of the weighting is the Mag 7.
Yeah. I would have put money that you would have gone with UNH.
UNH.
I thought it was, yeah, with for 3 years specifically, not a hold
Yeah.
forever. I thought you were gonna go UNH.
Yeah, I maybe this might be my meta situation where I think I'm trying to get too good a deal, and I was only willing to buy a UNH below 300 a share. I don't know if we're
Yeah.
gonna get that now that Buffett's disclosure of ownership is
Yeah.
there, but we'll see.
All right, guys. Let us know what you think or what your pick would be. But yeah, I mean, Buffett knows a lot more than me. So, in a realm where you have one guy with the most cash ever just sitting, and he's only buying in a couple things in the last 2 years, I'm gonna probably go with that one. Plus
Yeah,
Alibaba.
yeah, I like it. Catch you next one.